From Hollywood, it's time now for...
Nick Savage, Private Eye.
Pat McCracken, Universal Adjustment Bureau.
Oh, no.
Yeah, how are you, boy?
Terrible. Good
Matter?
Well, the last one you handed me was that phony spiritualist matter, and it's still haunting me.
Oh, you made money on him, didn't you?
Yeah, but I nearly lost my mind.
Well, all right, I've got one for you now that'll surely make you lose your mind. Come on over, huh?
Okay.
Tonight and every weekday night.
Nick Savage, Private Eye. Following is an accounting of my expenditures during the investigation of the Indestructible Mike matter. Expense account, item 1. 80 cents cab fare from my office to Pat McCracken, the International Adjustment Bureau.
Hi. Hey, you're looking great.
All right, let's
Sit down, huh? Cigarette, or you like a drink? Well, how are you, boy?
Let's have it. This one must be really bad.
Makes you say a thing like that. You sure you wouldn't like just one little...
Come on, let's get to the point. What are you trying to get out of paying this time?
You want the truth? Nothing. Nothing at all. Just a favor for a friend of mine down in New York.
Really?
I want you to go down and see Peter Branson.
Branson? Any relation to that Harry Branson from Mutual?
Well, his brother...
Get yourself another board.
It's different as day is from night, honest. Now, will you see him?
That stick in the mud, Harry, he nearly drove me crazy working with him. Another taxi cab fare to the Life and Casualty offices on Fifth Avenue where my worst fears were justified.
That is correct. I am not only Harry's brother.
Don't tell me you're his twin.
Why, yes. How could you have guessed it? Oh, but now, wait a minute. Did you say you took a taxi for the 3 blocks over from the station?
That's what goes on the expense account.
Oh, dear, my brother was right. You are expensive, and yet he seems to have the utmost confidence in your ability.
Harry, Pete, what's the case that's bothering you?
Isn't that interesting?
I don't know yet. Tell me about it.
I mean, you're starting to call me Harry because of my twin.
Better tell me about the case.
You know, a great many of our mutual friends... What? Oh, yes, of course. Michael Jeremiah Flynn, a terribly serious matter.
Who's Flynn?
He is a bum.
Aren't we all?
Regular, typical, movie-type version of a Bowery bum. And unfortunately, he holds a $50,000 policy.
So? Wow. Must have seen better days to have that much insurance.
Never, I'm sure of it. No human being could degenerate to such a state in a mere 47 years. And he looks and sounds like 67. Also, by the way, his policy is only 2 months old.
What's happened? Somebody trying to knock him off?
No, but I am sure somebody's going to.
Why'd you insure him? Huh?
It was Martha who was really responsible. Martha Ingersoll, the girl I had working for me here in the office at the time he applied for the policy. I was out sick for a couple of weeks, and I'm afraid that when I came back, I did not pay sufficient attention to the application she'd accepted. At least so far as Flynn's policy is concerned. Oh, of course, he'd passed his medical all right, though heaven knows how. And his cash payment of the premium was all...
Cash?
Yes, cash, but I still should have investigated myself before allowing the policy to be issued.
Look, you still haven't told me what's wrong here.
Of course, it's too late.
Pete.
Oh, of course. Well, it's simply this. The home address that we have for him has turned out to be the Glad Hand Rescue Mission, just off Fulton Street, near the Fulton Market.
Yeah. Biggest fish market in the world, isn't it?
Well, yes. A fascinating place. Ships loaded with fish from all the 7 seas, colorful characters speaking a dozen different tongues.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry I interrupted what you were saying, but...
That's all right, that's all right. I'm quite a connoisseur of seafood, you know. Real epicure, if I do say so. Have you ever tasted Boston Scrod?
Yeah, sure. Now, can we get back to the point here?
Oh, yes, Michael Flynn.
Michael Flynn, that's right.
Well, it's simply because of what's happened before that I'm so worried about this one.
And what has happened before?
After all, 50,000 is a sizable. The same thing, so you can see.
Harry, Pete, I can't see a thing.
It's like the Angus Cormac matter back in
I'll
47.
give it to you in
black and white. Oh, not literally, of course. I mean, I'll tell you from the beginning.
Attaboy.
Now, 4 times within the past few years, this very same sort of policy has been issued.
To some bum.
Yes, and everything has indicated fraud.
What do you mean?
In only one case were the police able to prove anything, the case of Maggie Dolly Varden Smith.
Oh, yeah. Seems to me I remember that one somewhere. Some racketeer expert.
Correct, Candy Kid Show.
Yeah, he insured the old derelict for $30,000. Named himself beneficiary.
Correct, and then he had old Maggie murdered. Of course you remember.
Do you think you got the same sort of situation here?
I'm afraid so.
And you can't cancel the policy unless there's proof about an attempt at fraud.
Correct. So you can see why I'm so deeply concerned over this. Oh, if only I hadn't left Martha Ingersoll in charge while I was sick.
Who's named as beneficiary of this
They
policy?
sell some good policies.
Beneficiaries.
Oh, yes, here it is. John Wesley Cosgrave, 621 East 49th Street here in Manhattan.
What do you know about him?
Nothing, really. And frankly, I'm afraid to find out.
Yeah, I'll look into it. And what's the address of this rescue mission where old Michael hangs out?
It's down near the big Fulton Fish Market. Let me see.
Yeah, why don't you give me that whole folder so I can get on it?
From it. Of course. But I am sorely afraid there isn't much to get.
I'm sorely afraid Peter was right, but I had to start somewhere. Item 4, $2.80 from Grand Central and a taxi to pick up my bags, and then a hotel near Chambers Street on the Lower East Side. $9.83 to a second-hand clothing store where I outfitted myself in some old clothes. I was hoping it would make me eligible for a spot on the bench at the rescue mission. When I finally shuffled into the place, which looked more like a cheap flat house.
Mission. I'm Daddy Bill.
Hi.
The entrance to the soup kitchen is over at the side, you know.
Yeah, well, I just want to sit down for a second and rest my feet.
Have you a bed for the night, brother?
Who knows? I'll make us.
Well, there's always room for one more, you know. Will you be here for our meeting tonight?
Well, I don't know.
Excellent singing voice, I can tell. Are you sure you don't want something to eat, my boy?
No, I'm not hungry. I'm all right.
Well, then, just sit and be comfortable and we can talk.
I kind of hope I might run into Mike.
Mike.
Mike Flynn.
Oh, yes, of course. Michael lives here. Spends most of his evenings with us, poor fellow. Although I really shouldn't say that.
Say what?
Poor fellow. After all, he's also one of our biggest contributors, too, when he's sober. Although where his money comes from, I'll never know. Although I'm sure it's money honestly gained. Michael's very religious. He's taken the pledge many times, many.
Has a lot of money now and then?
Yes, he seemed to think he might have a contribution for us when he comes back tonight.
But you don't know where he gets this money.
My boy, I never ask these personal things of the brothers. Now tell me all about you. You're from out of town, aren't you? I can tell. Why I feel I must protect him from some of the people who come in here and might try to take advantage of him. For the care and welfare of the brothers weighs heavily upon me sometimes, but it's a burden I'm glad to bear. Their stomachs and feed their souls, that is my task. I say it's a task I'm privileged to assume. After all, whom else have they to lean on?
Do you think Michael will be back here tonight?
And I'm sure he will. Oh, but listen. The quartet in the, well, we call it in the music room. Can you hear them?
Oh, yeah.
Getting ready for the meeting tonight. Aren't they wonderful? Beautiful voices. You're sure you won't join them?
No, some other time, huh?
You say, but if you're going to stay here long, my boy, with that wonderful voice of yours, I can tell. I will insist that you join one of our singing.
Yeah, well, about Mike.
Did you hear that? Someone hit a sour note. Poor boys, they just can't get along without my help. You'll just have to excuse me while I go back there and lead for them. I'll come back later. We'll talk.
Since I had nothing better to do than to wait for Mike Flynn to show up, I stretched out on one of the hard benches and closed my eyes. How long I slept, I haven't the slightest idea. I managed managed to conjure up a mighty sweet dream.
Bill!
What?
Daddy, Bill!
What's going on?
I guess, hello. Bill, I guess old Michael,
Hey,
Michael Jeremiah
Mike.
Flynn's there. Mike. And I guess,
He's out back.
I guess
working
I
with the
have
quartet now.
had a couple.
Mike? A couple too many was right, but not what I thought. His coat fell open, and just below the heart, 2 dark red splotches began to whiten on his chest. The beneficiary of Michael Flynn's insurance policy was eager to collect.
Now, here's our star to tell you about tomorrow's intriguing episode of this week's story.
Tomorrow, there's proof that life is a very tenacious thing, even in the broken body of a Bowery bum. Join us, won't you? Nick Savage, Private Eye.
Be sure to join us tomorrow night, same time and station, for the next exciting episode. Roy Rowan speaking.
Nick Savage, Private Eye. Adapted by Mark Taylor-Canfield as Nick Savage.
From Hollywood, it's time now for...
Nick Savage, Private
This
Eye.
message I found when I came...
Yeah, Pete, someone took a couple shots at your $50,000 client.
Well, is he... Will
From
he
the looks
die?
of things last night, he may pull through in spite of the 2 slugs in him.
I hope so. Do you know who did it?
No idea, but I want to try to talk to him.
Have you talked to the beneficiary?
Not yet, but first I want whatever information I can get from Mike, if he's still alive.
Tonight and every weekday night.
Nick Savage, Private Eye. Location, New York, New York. Attention, Peter Bernstein, Lakeside Casualty and Life Insurance Company. The following is an accounting of my expenses during the Indestructible Mike case. Expense account, item 6. 55 cents taxi to the neighborhood of the Glad Hand Rescue Mission. They gave Mike a room on the 2nd floor. A single light bulb hung from a wire from the ceiling.
Come in.
Hey, it's Nick Savage. Came up to see how you're doing. How you working out?
Well, you must be the man who helped me into the mission last night. Well, I'm much obliged to you.
Oh,
I'm real
how you feeling
obliged
this
to you.
morning?
Me? Oh, I'm fine. I've never felt better. Sit down.
What did the doctor have to say?
Good for me. Oh, now, just be joking.
Joking. After you had a couple slugs tear through you?
You want to see him?
Yeah.
Sure. Now, wait a minute. Now, just look for yourself here. Ah, you see? They just went through my side here, in the front, and out the back. Oh, see, aren't they healing up nicely?
Oh, that one that couldn't have missed your heart by more than a few centimeters.
Yes, it did. Not nearly so close as this scar, though. Want to see this scar? Look at it right here. No,
Is that
no,
what it won't
no,
do?
Johnny, that was just an old ice pick or something.
Huh?
Somebody
What?
in the crowd during that
Ice
fire
pick?
down at the battery line. Oh, wasn't that a beautiful fire? Did you see that?
Oh, but what are these slugs
Not
doing
a
inside?
thing.
These
Well, I'm so durable.
Wait a minute. Did you see there's another attempt on your life last week?
No, of course not. Just an accident like those shots last night.
You think that was an accident, too?
Huh? Why, don't you?
Do you know who fired them?
Oh, Johnny, I haven't the least idea.
When did it happen? I was right here in the mission, and I didn't hear any shots.
Dear, no, I was down near my private place.
Where's that? Where is it, Mike?
Well, I'll tell you, Johnny. It's this way. Daddy Bill and the others here at the mission are real nice to me. Oh, they're real nice. You can see by this lovely private room that they fixed up for me.
Yeah.
They'd like for me to stay here all the time. I guess Daddy Bill thinks if I'm here most of the time, I might not drink so much and keep getting into those kind of... Say, do you ever enjoy a little drink?
Well, on occasion, yeah. But you were going to tell me something.
Oh, here. I've got a little bottle tucked under the mattress here somewhere. Here it is.
What is that color? It looks pink.
Yes, that's my favorite, that pink. Straight whiskey costs so much. Even when I have the money now and then. And you know something? I like a little bit more kick in mine. I guess it's kind of a hangover from Prohibition days. So I mix a little kick into it. Here, just try this. Go ahead. Oh, you'll like this. Oh, what a wallop.
What is that?
Yes, well, that's sterno. That's what I add to it, just a little bit of sterno.
Mike, this stuff will kill you.
I've been drinking that for years. Look at me, the picture of health.
Listen to me. We need to get you a doctor.
No, you're not. I won't stand for it.
Now you're drinking sterno.
No, just gave me a little twinge or two last night, but now I feel fine.
You fell flat on your face when you came in here.
Oh, now listen, don't you tell Daddy Bill, but I'm afraid it wasn't the bullets last night. It was, overindulged.
Oh, brother.
No, don't say that.
All right, then how did it happen?
Well, I was on my way back here when the car drove by. It sounded to me like a couple of backfires or two, but then I felt this little sting on my side, and that's
And
it.
you called in an accident.
Of course, the men in the car were probably just having a little friendly...
How many men?
Well, I'm not sure. I think there were only two of them. I waved
What
at
kind of a car were they driving?
Black.
Well, what make? Can you tell me?
Well, it was shiny and it was new. See, I wish I had a car, John.
Look, Mike, I'm going to level with you. I'm an insurance investigator on this case.
Insurance? Well, say, that's interesting.
No,
Say, let's have a little drink.
No, thanks. Look, there isn't much to tell, except that I'm here to try to save your life, among other things.
Well, no, I don't understand. I'm getting along all right. I've been living it up here in the Bowery for years.
Maybe you were getting along, okay, until you took out that big insurance policy.
Yeah, say, wasn't that nice of Mr. Cosgrave? Now, all my life I wanted to have some life insurance. You know, it gives you a kind of feeling of importance and security. So when he came down here one night and I told him that, why, say, his eyes just lit up and he said he was going to make me a present of some insurance.
Who is this Cosgrave? How much do you know about him?
Oh, he's wealthy. I know that much about him. He has a beautiful car and a
Does he come down here a lot?
Oh, now
Why?
and then. Just now and then. Now, I've often wondered about that. So one time I asked Daddy Bill, and he said that years ago, when Mr. Cosgrave was young, he came to the mission for help, and Daddy Bill gave it to him.
Oh, what does he do when he's here?
Some food for the brothers. The brothers, that's what Daddy Bill calls us. And some money, and he always gives jobs to a couple of men who've drifted in here.
What kind of jobs?
You know, that's something I don't know. You see, they never come back here again.
Maybe it's because they can't. Mike, I'm going to give it to you straight.
What'd you say, Johnny?
To me, the whole thing smells to high heaven. How's he been getting this money?
In an envelope.
From who?
Usually it's
No
just left
return
here at the
address?
mission. Well, nobody ever seems to know. It's just a plain envelope. It's dropped in the mail. But I'm sure it comes from Mr. Cosgrave. Say, come to think about it. So there was one due yesterday. Every Monday, you know. But Daddy Bill said it didn't arrive.
Maybe it'll be here today. And you know something? I'd like to see it delivered.
No, you can't kid me. You'd like to see who delivers it. Say, why don't we go downstairs and wait and see?
No, easy there, Mike. You're a sick man. You need to lay down.
Stop talking that way, sick. Up we...
Oh, Are you serious?
No, I'm all right. Oh, say, look at that. Daddy Bill left my shoes here by the bed for me. Oh, my shoes.
I see.
There. Now, there we are, all dressed. Shall we go downstairs?
I don't know how you do it, Mike. You're amazing.
Well, the envelope should
Lead the
be
way.
there, because it always comes in the morning when there's nobody here. You know, when Daddy Bill's out shopping and just the door to the assembly room is open for any poor lost soul who wants to come in and wait for the chow line to open. Well, we'll see. And then we'll go to my private place. You see, there are two things I like: solitude and crowds of people.
Yeah, what's that?
Oh, look at there, Johnny. Look at there. There's mail there by the door. You see? Here's my envelope. And my name's on it, too. It's all right. You see there, Johnny?
Wait,
a
Mike.
$20 bill. Whee!
Let me have that
Oh,
envelope.
yes. Here you are, Johnny. Now we can go out, you and I. We can have a real... Well, look at that. A package for me, too.
Hey.
No, I know what you're thinking.
Easy, Mike. Let
An
me have that.
infernal machine or something. But you didn't hear it gurgle.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Well, look at that. Well, joyous bee, one for you and one for me. Oh, fingerprints, huh?
I'm going to take you back upstairs and lock you in your room, and you're going to stay there. You're not going to let anybody in till I get back. That's what I'm saying. Just remember, I'm trying to save your life. Finally, a slim, intelligent-looking lieutenant walked in, talked to Randy, gave him the findings from the liquor bottle I'd given them. Oh, Randy?
Not much, I'm afraid, Johnny. Apparently the only prints were those made by the old man and you.
Somebody's been pretty darn careful not to be identified in this case.
Yeah, that's what... Hey, wait a minute. Huh? Seal on the bottle had been tampered with, so the lab boys opened it. That bottle contained enough wood alcohol to kill an army.
I'm not surprised.
If that old boy drinks...
Oh, Randy, I gotta go. See you later. Mike, are you alright?
Ooh, what a hangover this is going to be.
Now, here's our star to tell you about tomorrow's intriguing episode of this week's story.
Tomorrow, the would-be beneficiary of Indestructible Mike turns out to be a very interesting and dangerous man. Nick Savage, Private Eye.
Be sure to join us tomorrow night, same time and station, for the next exciting episode. Roy Rowan speaking.
Nick Savage, Private Eye, adapted by Mark Taylor-Canfield.